Welcome to the FaithFlex podcast, your sanctuary for soulful exploration and practical wisdom, where spiritual growth joins together with the hustle of daily life. I'm your host, Monica Roxanne. I'm so glad you decided to join me and countless others because this is your moment for reflection, for growth, for real life change. Whether you're seeking a whisper of inspiration or a robust blueprint for action, the FaithFlex podcast stands as a testament to the daring spirit within all of us. So, to my pursuers and my dreamers, to my doers and believers, our journey awaits. Welcome. Hey fam, welcome to another episode of the FaithFlex podcast. I'm your host, your girl, Monica Roxanne, and I'm so glad you decided to join me and others this week as we dive into the transformative power of gratitude and how it leads to joyful living. So this week's topic, Gratitude Unleashed, a pathway to joyful living. So let's talk about gratitude. Gratitude is a heartfelt appreciation for the blessings and experience and the people in our lives. It is a recognition of good that surrounds us and regardless of our circumstances. And why is gratitude so important? Because it takes intentionality to be grateful. It takes purpose and it takes effort to decide to choose to be grateful and to have gratitude. And so what does the Bible say about gratitude? I like to start with Colossians chapter 3, verse 17, and it says, whatever you do in word or in deed, do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks through him to God the Father. Let's couple that with Psalms chapter 107, verse 1, and it says, oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his loving and kindness is everlasting. So what does that mean? It means that the Bible is really emphasizing here the transformative impact of being grateful. It highlights how God draws us closer and how it fosters a spirit of contentment and joy. And so why are we talking about gratefulness and why are we talking about gratitude? And why are we talking about joy? We're talking about that because in the season that we're in right now, things are uncertain. There's changes. There's sharp changes in the dynamics of our economics and our digital landscape and so much in our personal lives that it is essential that we take the time to be grateful. Find the good in your moment. Find the good in your day. Find the good in a situation and choose to be grateful. In essence, being grateful actually helps propel you into a place of joy. And you guys know my favorite author, Brene Brown, and she defines joy as an intense feeling of deep spiritual connection, pleasure, and appreciation. So how does joy and gratitude go hand in hand? And so I think gratitude really shapes our reality, how we see a thing that leads us into joy. Because if we dwell on something that's going on in our lives that is overwhelming and it's touchy and it's just out of our control, then we can lose sight of the goodness that may be in that situation. And it can be as small as you're still breathing. It could be as small as you still have your right mind. It could be as small as it could be worse. It is choosing to find gratitude, gratefulness in a situation in the moment. And that's hard when you're being overwhelmed in different directions. It's difficult when things are not lining up to your plan, and it's easy to succumb to the pressures of life. But when we take a moment to pause, when we are intentional with our day and our time, and we choose to be grateful, gratitude will help us move into a place where we're feeling a deep spiritual connection and appreciation for what's going on in our lives, even if we don't know exactly how it's going to work out. So gratitude has the power to shape our reality by really shifting our focus from what we lack to what we have. So oftentimes when we become frustrated or full of anxiety, frustration is developed or it becomes real to us when there's an expectation that's not being met. And then oftentimes anxiety is that we're worrying about the future, and we're concerned about the uncertainty or the unknown. And I think we owe it to ourselves is in moments like that is to figure out what's going on, what's going well, even though we don't see it. Having gratitude helps us to enhance our perspective, our sight, and our focus. It enables us to see the beauty and the abundance present, and that's key, present in our lives amidst all the challenges and all of the hurdles that we're trying to overcome in our day to day. So let me say that again. It's important that we see gratitude as a way to enhance, to elevate our perspective and our focus. It allows us to see the best. It allows us to see the beauty. It allows us to see the good in a bad situation or a not so good situation among everything else that's going on. And so I dare to say, and I'm sure others would agree, that gratitude and joy actually go hand in hand in the moment. Oftentimes you will find the greatest joy is when you take a moment to stop, to observe and embrace the moment. You will find the greatest joy in what you are experiencing. And gratitude helps us to do that. Gratitude allows us the opportunity to really take a step back and say, it's going to be okay. It doesn't look like that. So that's tapping into our faith, right? It's tapping into our trust in God and our confidence in God. But gratitude just reminds us that even if it's all going on, you're still here. If it's not looking like how it's supposed to, you're still here. It focuses you on what is going on, what's good in the moment. And that's what's important. So let's talk about joy. What does the Bible say about joy? I like to jump to Proverbs chapter 17, verse 22, and it says, a joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. That's deep. A joyful heart is good medicine. And so I think that it's important that we take a moment to think about when we embrace joy, not turn away from it, not forebode it, but really embrace joy. It's good for us. It's good for our soul. I dare to say there's so much research out here that says practicing gratefulness or practicing gratitude actually impacts us in our lives, not just in our thoughts, but physically. People are not struggling with sleep. Individuals are finding to be more healthy. They are being more productive. They're less aggressive when they are finding the time and intentionally choosing to be grateful. I will jump to Galatians chapter 5, verse 22, and in verse 23, just to close it out. And it says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness. Verse 23 says, gentleness and self-control. Against such things there is no law. So even in the Bible, the God we serve, that the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, come on, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Why? Because it is good for our soul. It's good for us. And sometimes we have to fight for our joy. Sometimes we have to fight and decide. I think it's important that we stop putting pressure on others to help us find gratitude or help us find gratefulness. But I think it's on us to really be intentional about searching for gratefulness and gratitude and looking for things that we can appreciate. I think it's James chapter 1, verse 2-3 that says, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. So oftentimes when we're trying to find something that's good, something that is tough or challenging, it's hard. And then you know, embracing a moment of gratefulness, it leads you into a moment of joy because you know in that moment there's a future. And even though if you tap into your faith, partnering with your joy, you know that you're going to get through because faith will help you persevere. So all of this is interconnected, right? It's really helping us to grow and mature as individuals. And so that we have the opportunity to live a whole healthy life. Consider it pure joy that whenever you're going through something, when you stop for a moment and said, okay, this has been a long day, but I need to know, you know what am I grateful for? I'm grateful that I had my favorite meal today. It can be just that minuscule. I'm grateful that I got a chance to talk to my friend that I haven't talked to in 10 years. It can be just that small, but it allows you to be present in that moment and say, you know what? That was good. I can get through another day. And so how does gratitude help during a challenging moment? Gratitude really serves as an anchor. It helps us or reminds us of the silver lining, the blessing among the adversity that we're facing. And some days there's no adversity. You're just grateful just to be alive. And those are the good times where joy is easy to embrace. Gratitude helps us to cultivate resilience. And again, it helps us to enhance our perspective and our focus. And it really empowers us really to navigate through challenges with grace and hope. See, it's all about how we see a thing. And gratitude allows us to really adjust our lens. Joy is a byproduct of gratitude. They go together. Gratitude helps us cultivate the sense of resilience, that it allows us to adjust our perspective to ensure that it's not all over. There's still some fight left because there's still some good here. And it empowers us to navigate the challenges that we're enduring or facing with grace and hope. Is there always a big win every day? No, but it's the small wins that keep us moving. It's the small wins, the small victories that gives us progress, and that there's still more work to be done, but what you've done so far is not in vain. So I think it's important that we take the time to really just embrace a practice of gratitude. Taking the time to really embrace practice of gratitude really just gives us a centralized focus in our day to day. And I think one of the ways we can do that is daily reflection. Taking time each day to reflect on 3 things that you're grateful for. And sometimes life is so challenging. I know for myself that life is so challenging. I only can find one thing. And typically it's like, Lord, I'm still breathing. It's hard. Some days is better than others. Most days it's life being life, and it's livable and tolerable. But it's important that you practice gratitude, because you don't want to miss the wins. You don't want to miss the opportunities to say there's a blessing in midst of the challenges. There's a blessing amidst the adversity. It's the blessing. There is a blessing in the midst of a loss. Gratitude allows us to really adjust our focus and our perspective in order for us to use gratitude to enhance how we're moving forward and how on a pathway of joy. It's really for us to be intentional with our time, either in the mornings or in the afternoons or your lunch break, or even in the evenings when you're winding down. I'm going to be grateful. There's another way that we can also leverage gratitude, and that is creating a gratitude journal. Some people like to use their phone. Some people like to use, a notebook. But however you take the time to daily reflect is to write it down. We know that writing it down makes it real. Writing it down allows us to be focused in that moment. Keeping a journal to jot down moments of gratitude allows us to even revisit those moments when we're in another moment of challenging times. Keeping a gratitude journal allows us to keep some history, because when we are able to keep history, we're able to go back and use that history to help us to continue to move forward and navigate things that are not looking so well, because we've seen God's hand in the past, and we know that if he's shown up in the past, he's going to show up in the future. And so gratitude helps us, and keeping a gratitude journal helps us to understand and remember all of the great things that has happened in our past and the future. And it keeps us focused, and that we have the strength to keep going. I think that's even why the Bible exists. It's that God gave us a word so that we have a reference point. that when we're going through, he's with us. If we're down, he's with us. If we're sad, he's with us. If we're unsure about our purpose, there's something in the word that's going to give us guidance and direction, but he's with us. And so keeping a journal, and also performing daily reflections really helps us to gravitate to that. The other is express appreciation. When you're using gratitude to enhance or to live a better life, is to vocalize your gratitude to others and even vocalize your gratitude to God. Listen, the Bible is clear that we should just give God praise and glory and honor him. David honored him. Hannah honored him with the prayer of thanksgiving when she discovered that she was pregnant with Samuel. Like, there's so many opportunities where gratitude is through an expression of praise and exaltation, that God, we thank you. And then thank the people that have been a blessing in your life, even if it's just a smile or a hug or lunch or just a conversation or a phone call. Gratitude isn't just having a deep, in-depth conversation with yourself. Gratitude is just as simple as, I'm so glad I'm still breathing today, because sometimes life will just make it that hard, right? But if you have friends in your lives or companions or acquaintances that are right there with you, vocalizing your thanks, vocalizing your appreciation for them, it helps. It helps them and it helps you, because you are now acknowledging their presence in the moment and you are acknowledging their gift to you in the moment. And then even with that, as we go throughout our day, the Bible says, pray without ceasing. A lot of times we can just acknowledge the blessing that God is in our lives, and he's with us. He's with us, walking with us. He's talking with us. We can see his presence in all that we're doing. And so expressing gratitude is a good thing. I want to make sure that we're clear on that. Expressing gratitude is a good thing, and it allows us to walk on that pathway to joy. We'll find a smile, and it lightens our heart when we do that. So the other thing I want to just quickly chat about here is, what are some of the steps when gratitude is so difficult to find? The first thing I want to say is, if you're struggling with gratitude and it's difficult, right? You're in a season where things look a little shaky, and they're not lining up. Finding gratitude is actually practicing mindfulness. I cannot stress enough. Mindfulness is going to anchor you in the present moment, and it helps you cultivate awareness around the blessings or the blessings around you. So again, practicing mindfulness will anchor you in the present moment. It won't allow you to spiral out of control, right? It doesn't take you downward. Practicing mindfulness is important, because practicing mindfulness is also part of understanding your attitude towards a thing. So having an attitude is a way of thinking. Practicing is a way of doing and trying and failing and trying again. So if you start off with some of the three tips of just how gratitude will enhance your everyday, like daily reflection and journaling, and it's just expressing gratefulness and thankfulness to people around you or just to the God we serve. One of those things is that you may try and it's not doing anything, or you may try it and then you fall off for a week or two or even a month. It's okay. Then you do it all over again. You just start where you pick up where you left off and keep going. There's no perfect formula for gratitude or gratefulness, but what it is effort. What's key here is intentionality. You choose daily, choose weekly, choose monthly to be grateful. If you choose to be grateful daily, it doesn't matter if you do your daily reflection while you're washing dishes. Choose to be grateful. And then if it becomes overwhelming, where you just can't find a moment of goodness in whatever is going on in your life, I cannot stress it enough. Seek support. Reach out to loved ones, seek guidance from a spiritual mentor, seek guidance from a friend, seek guidance from a therapist, so that you can get the help you need to shift your thinking. It is so critically important that you remain aware, but you may remain present in the moment. It's easy to get caught up of what happened in the past. It's easy to get caught up of what could happen in the future, but you don't have control over the past or the future. You only have control over your right now. and finding moments to say, yes, today was tough, but guess what? Tomorrow is going to be better. And I'm grateful for the fact that I realize that I'm still breathing. And that means there's still work to be done. Or whatever that encouraging word or affirmation is to you. I really, really hope that as we continue to discover who we are in our lives, and that we continue to pursue joy, that we add gratefulness and gratitude to our formula, to our lives, so that we are present in the moment. It's such a disservice to ourselves when we miss out on opportunities, when we don't live in the moment. We miss the beauty in people. We miss the beauty in moments. We miss the small wins. We miss celebrating the achievements of others when we're so worried about what we can't fix in our past or what we don't know what's going to happen in our future. Be present in the moment. Be grateful and practice gratitude. So I want to leave you with this quote as we wrap up today. And that's this: gratitude is an emotion that reflects our deep appreciation for what we value, what brings meaning to our lives, and what makes us feel connected to ourselves and to others. And that's by my favorite author, Brené Brown. So listen, that is our episode this week. I am so glad you decided to hang out with me. Let's practice gratitude. Allow gratitude to guide us into our joyful living. Listen, life is difficult. Life is challenging. But as we continue to pursue a life that is full of grace and hope and faith, and that we're living to the best, greatest potential of our lives, that we understand that gratitude is the start. Gratitude is part of that. And I hope that we all find something in our lives to be grateful for. So with that being said, you guys, I am super, super glad that you decided to join me. And I hope that you join me next week. But until next time, thanks everybody. And that's a wrap on today's soul-stirring episode of the FaithFlex podcast. I hope you're leaving feeling uplifted and equipped to turn your everyday experience into stepping stones for spiritual growth and practical living. Thank you for tuning in and sharing your time with me. Be sure to subscribe, share it with your friends, and leave a review if you enjoyed the journey today. Your support means the world to me, and it helps bring this message to more listeners who are searching for harmony between their spiritual walk and action. Until next time, remember to flex your faith.